So you've just walked past your opponent in the corridor outside. I mean, what do you make of him? He's had a few little things to say about you. His team have had a few things to say about the weight for the fight, things like that.
Yeah. I ain't got a lot to say, really. Like I was just saying, like the miscommunication between promoters and managers is nothing to do with me as a fighter. My next fight, whether it was Josh Padley or anyone else in Britain, was going to be £140. So the miscommunication of contracts being sent to him there's nothing to do with me. I haven't signed no contract for WBC Silver Lightweight Championship because I knew it wasn't for that. That's just a load of nonsense. But forget the he said, she said stuff. He's going to get his head punched in on Saturday night. Simple as that.
Are you moving up to 140 permanently? No. You're not?
No, I'm not. There's a plan put in place. I was meant to be fighting in December, and I said to Frank, I can't sit out the ring for nearly 6 months, so I need something in between. And he said, well, we'll do you main event at your call, whatever date you want, whatever weight you want. And I was like, I don't really want to fight at your call because it's not quite the same. I said, I want the 21st of September. And they said, well, it's full up, you can't do that. And I said to Frank, I said, well, don't worry then, we'll just leave it till December. And later on that evening, he rung me, worked a bit of magic and said, look, I've got you a spot on the 21st. Lovely. Could have told me that earlier in the office. But now here we are again, another fight week, big platform, and I'm ready to put it all together on Saturday night.
I tell you what though, just hearing that, it's some position you're in these days. It all started with that phone call before Christmas last year. And yeah, I mean, just being able to kind of say that you wanted to box at Wembley on September the 21st, you're not making demands of Frank, but you put it out there to him. Is that not a possibility? Could we not do that? And it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, you take a moment to stop and think to yourself, hang on a second, I mean, you know, this is actually happening.
Yeah, because like I've said, like I don't ever ask for a lot. I don't give them grief. I don't ask for nothing. And that's just something I asked for. And it sort of wasn't possible. And then I think they had a meeting with His Excellency, who was down, and they were mapping out a plan for the show or whatever. And I think they must have chucked it towards him, and he must have wanted me on the show as well. And I think they juggled things around and got me on it. And I can't thank them enough for that. But yeah, like I say, I don't ask for a lot, and you don't ask, you don't get. And yeah, I got what I wanted, and here we are.
I just want to talk to you quickly about punching power, because it's something I was looking into a lot last year, and I heard you talk about it before your last fight, and you basically said to the person who asked you, I don't really kind of know where it comes from because I don't really feel like I load up or I really try muscle punches in. I just kind of let them go. But that's exactly what a puncher would say, because to be able to punch hard, it's all about staying loose and having that natural timing.
Yeah.
So is that something you've always had?
Yeah, the power's always been there from my first ever boxing session as a kid. But you can't
what does that feel like to know from an early stage on that you are capable of really doing damage in a way that other people, you're looking around the gym in a way that they're not?
It's nice to have that tool in the box as such, if you wanted to put it like that. But you can't rely on that, because if you go looking for that one punch knockout power, it's just not going to happen. You've got to set it up and you've got to be clever, especially when you're climbing up the rankings and fighting better oppositions. You've got to be clever with it as well. But it's nice to have it there, because I can carry it all the way through the end to the late rounds. You know what I mean? I stopped round, I was in the 10th. There might be people out there that are strong for the first half of the fight and then they die down. But I'm just lucky, I guess, that I can box and I can punch, and you'll see that on Saturday night.
And it could come in different ways, can't it? Because against Gavin Gwynn, for example, somebody else lands that punch and they don't break his eye socket and his eye doesn't close, and it's not the same. Whereas with you, it was kind of like a knockout, really, just a slow burning knockout, because from that moment onwards, there wasn't really any way back for him.
No, I mean, Gavin's obviously a great guy, great champion, done a lot in the boxing world, but it was just unfortunate. He got caught with an uppercut in the first round, and it wasn't even like I give it some. Do you know what I mean? It just right spot, and it was timed lovely, and it broke his eye socket. So yes, the power's there, because that don't just normally happen over one minute of a fight. Say it might happen over the 10-round period, but that's all it took.
And just before, last one for me, we've got two guys at the top of the bill who, you know, they deal in your currency. They've got natural power, and they're big lads as well. The commitment you have to have at heavyweight is kind of frightening in a way, because to really do some damage, you need to set your feet, you need to take that split second, and you need to give it some. But in doing that, you leave yourself open to a counter. If you want to really do some damage, you run the risk of being damaged, don't you?
Risky old game, yeah. If you want to stand in the middle of the ring and fight fire with fire, you got to be willing that you might get clipped yourself. But yeah, especially with the big boys, I truly believe on Saturday night, it's whoever lands first, because whoever they're hitting, whether it's each other or it could be any other man in that arena, whoever's getting it on the chin is going out. So yeah, it's going to be good.
How does your fight end?
My fight?
Yeah.
I think I will be shocked if he sees any more than 7 rounds. I'll give him 7 rounds. He has never been in the ring with someone like me, so we'll see.